Hello, this is a prepaid call from an inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Red Onion Randy, and welcome to my podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about art and literature within prison. Because those are two things that have meant a lot to me throughout the years. As I previously mentioned in episodes past, I sling ink. And for those of you who don't know what slinging ink is, it's just simply a prison way of saying doing tattoos on someone. Now, I'm a technical artist. I don't personally draw. That's just, I have the talent, I just don't have the time nor the inclination to sit down and train myself in how to draw. So I would take tattoo patterns that have already been made from other tattoo artists that you find in books, magazines, and other prisoners. Because one of the first things that a prisoner does when he gets to a new compound is he asks his cellie, yo, who slings ink? And they'll be like, oh, yo, well, this dude over here, this dude, this dude, this dude, this dude. And you check your work and you know all of your patterns and all that stuff that you got in your folders and whatnot. And you take them to him and say, yo, dude said you sling ink. Here's my patterns, man. Let me check yours out. And that's what dudes do, because he'll sit there and go through my patterns while I'm going through his patterns. And the stuff that he has that I don't have that I like, I'm going to set that to the side and he's going to do the same with my patterns. And then I'll take his and I'll make copies of them and he'll make copies of mine. And then we'll give, I'll give him his originals back. I'll give my originals back. And that way our folders keep growing and growing and growing. Though I don't really have as much as I used to because, a lot of shakedowns and everything, I've lost so much stuff. But the thing I like about tattoos, especially here in the prison system, they tell a story. And that story, it gives you an insight, a window into this person. For example, you have a white dude who wants some ink done. And you're doing a lot of Celtic knots and crosses and shamrocks and all of this. Well, 9 times out of 10, he's of Irish or Scottish descent. And that'll give you an insight to ask the question, if there's something about it that you don't know and you see his artwork, you can be like, yo, man, what's that right there mean? And he can explain it to you because he's into his Celtic roots. He's into his history. Same thing with black guy. If he wants some African tribal stuff, let's say he's from, his ancestors come from Ghana, and he's getting you to do these patterns. And I've done that. I'm sitting there slinging ink, and it's something, I'm putting on a person that I ain't never seen before. I don't know what the meaning is. And I sit there and ask him, yo, man, what's this mean? And while I'm focused on doing that, he can talk to me and tell me what the significance of this is, and that gives me information. It gives me something to do to talk to with this guy about. You're trying to, maybe build a little connection, because let me tell you something. When you're in prison, if you ever come in prison, you have to be worried and you have to be highly, highly suspicious of other people's motivations. But at the same time, you don't want to just shut a door on a dude simply because of the way he looks or kind of the ink he's got or the way he kind of conducts himself or whatnot, because you never know when you might need that person. So if I'm sitting here talking, and I've done tattoos on dudes, and they were flat out racist. They hated white dudes. But, hey, I'm getting paid. I'm a businessman. I'm an artist to a certain degree. So I'm going to sling ink on this dude, and I'm going to sit there and talk to him, and I'm going to ask him questions why he's getting the ink he's getting. What's the meaning behind this particular piece? Because whether he realizes or not, I'm building that connection with him. And now that we have that connection, that opens doors. And that's the main problem that's going on in this damn country of America today, with all of these riots and protests and all of this. Yeah, they want to get on television. They want to talk. Blah, 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 do this. Blah, 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 do that. Defund the police. Blah, blah. Man, none of that stuff is working. And it's never, ever going to work because they're never getting or discussing, they're never discussing the main problem that is leading to these incidences in the first damn place. And that's there's no connection. They're not connecting out there on the street. They're so focused on their own lives. They're so focused on their own sins, their own vices, their own pleasures, their own selfishness and greed that they're not willing to take time to look at somebody else and say, hey, how can I help this person? How can I build a bridge with this person? So by slinging ink, I'm able to build that bridge with people. I can't begin to tell you. Matter of fact, my brother Jason, when I was at Beaumont, there was this dude, he's a 5%er. And for those of you who don't know what a 5%er is, they're a small sect within the Nation of Islam. And they absolutely hate white people. Everything about white people, everything white people stand for, it don't matter. If it has anything to do with a white person, they despise it. They hate it. They cannot stand it. All they want to do is destroy it. I was at Beaumont, which was juvenile prison way back in the day, with this guy who was a 5%er. Me and this dude disliked each other. We flat out hated each other. We despised each other because he thought I should be scared of him because he's black, I'm white, and we're in prison. So automatically that makes me his bitch. And that's the way he looked at it. Well, he found out different because I'm not scared of anyone. That's kind of stupid of me, I know that, but it is what it is. So I left, and my younger brother Jason got locked up, followed in my footsteps, which is my biggest regret ever, is leading him into a life of crime. To this day, that still kills me whenever I allow myself to think about it. But anyway, he's there, and I'm already in jail waiting to go to trial for capital murder. And he sent me a letter saying, hey, yo, this dude, I can't remember what his name was, but he was like, yo, you were the realest white boy this dude has ever met. I mean, he's giving you, he's giving you a lot of respect. And, I wrote my brother back. I'm like, man, I hate that dude. I can't stand that dude, man. What's he respecting me for? But that's the thing. You have that connection, it softens people's hearts towards you. Me and this dude, if we could have got away with it, we'd have probably killed one another. That's how much we disliked each other. But you have that connection. And just something so small, something so tiny, something so insignificant as simply asking a person a question. Hey, what's that ink on your arm mean? And even if it isn't tribal or nationalistic, it could just be a rose. It could just be a flower or a name or anything like that, anything. You just simply can ask a person about this, and you can build that connection because they'll answer. Unless you're drunk, most tattoos have a meaning, and every tattoo a prisoner gets has a specific meaning. Every last one of them. So by asking these questions, you get to build that connection. You get to understand a little bit more about this person that you're doing work on, or this person you see wearing ink. You can go to my website and check out some of those patterns, and I hope that you do. I have some tattoos myself. One of the tattoos that has the most meaning for me is a phrase that comes from, you guessed it, the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. And it's, I believe it's pronounced Tashar. It's T-A-I-Shar. And in that series of books, Tashar is in the old tongue, and it means true blood. And it means it in the sense that you are true to your nation, you're true to your beliefs, you're true to your parents, you're true to your core, your inner being. And I really, really like that phrase. And one day I was sitting there at Sussex One I had the tattoo gun and I had some ink made up, and I sit there and just tattooed that phrase on the webbing between my left thumb and left index finger, so I can always see it. And it just reminds me to be true to my beliefs. And the greatest advice that I've ever been given is believe in what you believe in or stop wasting your damn time. And that advice means a lot to me. So Tayshar, by it saying true blood, it just reminds me to be true to who I want to be now. And even though I had put this on me before I had really started to change, just as I said, a couple of weeks after I tattooed it on myself, I'd slit a child molester's throat and got sent back to Red Onion. I think I sort of did it as a premonition. I think it was those instinctual things. Unfortunately, I just heard the battery on the phone beep, letting me know that it's dying. I will do what I can to get back as soon as possible. And I hope you enjoy listening to me. Please go and check out my website, redonionrandy.com. And if you got time, I would appreciate you rating my podcast and what you think about it. God bless, take care, and stay safe.
Thank you for using GTL.